What's good? What's good? What's good with everybody, man? Coming off of this terrible loss against the Jaguars, it is what it is. I'm not really tripping. I ain't gonna cap, man. I already wrote this season off. I already done talked about it. Posted on my IG. The whole thing, man. The season's over. We're going down to what 2-6 now, and it's over. It's that simple. It's over. So I mean, it is what it is. I'm not really tripping like that. I see my guy Medwood saying Ray wiping the tears off before he come on. Nah, not even, bro. I honestly, I wasn't even tripping. Like, let's be real. When we lost the game, I wasn't surprised. It's the same formula every single week. And I talk about it every single week. And I try to tell people, look, the defense is going to do what the defense does. The offense is going to need to step up and do what it's supposed to do, what we expected it to do. And I don't know how people continue to talk about how the defense is supposed to step up and do this or step up and do that. But at the end of the day, it does the same thing. We hold the team to 0 points to start of the game. We did it multiple times this year. We hold teams to 0 for what? The first quarter and a half. Then we give up points in the middle section of the game. Okay. Then at the end of the game, we stop them on multiple drives to give the offense a chance to score and go down there and win. What happened again? We stopped them twice, even though they're up. It was 24-20. We stopped them twice. The offense scored 0 points in the entire second half. 0 points, y'all. 0 points. And I'm trying to figure out, how do you compute in your mind to say, okay, yeah, the defense is trash and that's why we lose. The offense didn't score a single point in the second half. We only put up 2 touchdowns the whole game. 2 touchdowns the whole game. And this is supposed to be the high-flying Lamborghini offense. This is supposed to be the high-powered offense. Top 5 offense. I didn't see that today. I didn't see it last week either. So it's hard to sit here and understand how people think about the offense being so good, but the defense being trash. But you talk about not scoring any points in the second half, and it's getting frustrating because I was just talking to Hunter. I was in the chat giving him a hard time. But how are we going to fix this when, let's say, like he was saying, the culture is bad? We have a losing culture. Can you reset a culture with a quarterback that's been here for as long as Derek Carr has, or do you have to get a new leader in a quarterback? Y'all let me know. I've already defended Carr his entire career. I defended Carr my first year covering the Raiders last year. I defended Carr the entire season. And then this year, I went into the season saying I can't defend Carr anymore because why? The excuses and the reasons I gave last year for Derek Carr weren't here this year. You had an entire offseason to figure out the offense. You had an entire offseason with your new weapon in Davante Adams. The moment we got Davante Adams, I said there's no excuses, bro, because the moment a lot of these quarterbacks that we consider good, I consider Derek Carr good. That once you get a wide receiver like Davante Adams, there's no excuses after that. So how can you just sit there and think about how you could give Aaron Rodgers, you could take Davante Adams away from Aaron Rodgers, and now all of a sudden it implodes. You add Stephon Diggs to the Bills, and then all of a sudden that offense explodes. The Vikings go draft Justin Jefferson, their offense is exploding. They got a first-year head coach over there. This is the first time they have their head coach. They have Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook. We got Josh Jacobs and Davante Adams. So I'm trying to figure out where the problem is. If Derek Carr is our guy, that's all I'm saying. Shout out to everybody in the chat, though, man. Appreciate y'all pulling up. Shout out to SoCal Nation. He says, yo, Ray, I'm at a loss for words. It hits different this year. Can't wait to get your take on this game and how we move going forward. Salute, my guy. Shout out to you, SoCal. Appreciate you pulling up, man. Look, it's so simple, man. The coaching is trash. Like, let's be honest. The coaching is trash. I know people hate this. I know people will definitely disagree, but I am not too mad at the defense. I'm really not too mad at the defense. And you guys know why, because I don't expect that much from them. I do not expect much from the defense. I expect the defense to be able to make stops for us to take a lead or to win the game. That's all I expect. That's all I expect. I don't and then what I expect from the offense, right, is to consistently score points. So you talk about scoring. Hold on. Here we go. Enamel Red says giving up 3 17-point leads in 8 games is a clear sign the coaching is not working. That is a clear sign. 100% agree with that. But the thing is, I kind of understand where Patrick Graham comes into this. And this is what it is. Patrick Graham will come out with a game plan to where he's able to shut down the opponent. He's able to shut down the offense because in order for us to get any of these leads, you guys got to understand these aren't leads like, okay, we come out and score, they come out and score to open the game, and then all of a sudden you get us an influx of offense. It's not like it's a 17-34 lead. It's not a 17-point lead in the aspect of you're in the middle of the game and then you're up 34-17. It's a huge difference between being 17-0 and 34-17. That means your offense is scoring crazy points to have a lead. But all it is the defense holds the other opponent to 0 points from the beginning of the game. That's a huge difference. From the beginning of the game, from the start of the game, you guys expect the defense to hold them to 0 points the entire game. And that's where it's confusing because these leads aren't the same as, like I said, a 17-34. That's different. 34-17, that's a 17-point lead. Or 17-0. Well, we just held them to 0 to start the game out. What happens is they start scoring the points. The moment the opponent starts scoring points, our offense goes away. Our offense stops scoring. Why the hell are we losing? Or let's put it this way. Why do we have a 17-point lead and end the game with 20 points? I'm trying to figure that out because a 17-point lead is within the first quarter and a half. So with that being said, why are we only scoring 20 points to end the game if we already scored 17 points in the first damn quarter, basically? That's where it's confusing to me. The entire second half, you score no points. And I'm not even frustrated that we lost because I didn't expect to win. I've already cut the season off. I told y'all, this season is over, y'all. The season's over. And what's going to happen is we're going to end up going through the season, being trash, being garbage, whatever you want to call it. And then we're going to get later in the season. We're going to win a couple of games and we're going to screw our draft position over. That's exactly what's going to happen. We're going to screw up our draft position. That's pretty much what's going to happen, man. Let me catch up to this chat, though, because I am a little bit behind. Shout out to Brian Chavez for the super chat. He says it's learned helplessness at this point for the nation. Yeah. I mean, it is helpless. I mean, at this point, there's nothing to really talk about besides the simple fact that Josh McDaniels needs to go. If we want a new culture, we need a new quarterback. And it's not even saying that Derek Carr is a terrible quarterback. It's not saying that I hate Derek Carr, none of that, because I've liked Derek Carr most of his career. I defended Derek Carr all of last year. A lot of the excuses and a lot of the reasons I gave Derek Carr all those passes last year was simply because of the fact that we had a lot of turmoil, right? We had a lot of stuff going on. You can't expect a quarterback to be able to be successful when you got your best receiver, your number 1 draft pick, going out there with tragedy, and we all know the list of things. Now you go into this year. This year was different. Carr had no excuses. Carr came into this season with his best friend at wide receiver, his old college teammate, brings him in. We trade a first and a second, cash him out. Now you have your number 1 wide receiver, Derek Carr. No excuses. I don't care. I don't hear other people talking about, think about this. You think about the quarterbacks that are out there slinging the ball, making these passes, doing what they do. Josh Allen, they traded for Stephon Diggs. They don't have a running back like Josh Jacobs. Not even by a chance, bro. They don't have a Josh Jacobs over there. They don't have no running backs close to a Josh Jacobs in Buffalo. But they got Stephon Diggs to Josh Allen. They made a connection. They made it happen. The offense started clicking. Then you want to talk about, let's take it over to, I mean, you could take it over to Joey B. He got his college teammate. That offense started clicking. They took off, hit the ground running. You talk about across the division and Patrick Mahomes, you talk about, shit, he don't even have no damn receivers. They sent his number 1 receiver and Tyreek Hill away. He got MVS over there with Juju Smith-Schuster and freaking Hardman. He just has the best tight end in the league, of course. But at the end of the day, they traded his number 1 away. He still hit the ground running this year. And he doesn't have a running back. The Chiefs don't have a running back like Josh Jacobs. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, whatever his name is, he's been out like nearly the whole season. What about this? What about the Broncos? How the hell do the Broncos have a better record than us? How do the Broncos have a better record than us? That's insane. That's insane. Because you talk about the Broncos, they get a new quarterback, they get a new offensive coordinator, or a new head coach as well, just like us. They get Russell Wilson. What happens? Their offense is trash. They're still winning more games than us. So, I mean, if you want to build a new culture, you're gonna have to get a young new quarterback. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Shout out to Honcho, man, because he was talking about it. And we was talking about it. He said you got to build a new culture, and I get it. You want to build a new culture, you're gonna need to get a new quarterback. You have to get a new quarterback if you want to build a new culture. Shout out to Ty Davis. He says, "Hey, did you see the presser? Something is wrong." I didn't see the presser yet, man. After the game, I was like, "I'm gonna go to the park with my son. With my family, and we're gonna go kick it out the park for a little bit." I was like, "I'm gonna get out the house, shoot around, and I'm not gonna deal with no Raider stuff. I already done knew we was gonna lose, and it's garbage that the fact that the Broncos have a better record than us. Like, come on, man, the Broncos." That's sad. That's sad. Casey has great coaching. Yeah, they do. They do. Additional context. Carr has had 11 different offensive line combinations. Waller's been out pretty much all year. Renfro is a shell of himself. I'm not trying to hear that, man. I don't really care. These are excuses, bro. Waller's pretty much out all year. Who cares? Who cares? He has Devontae Adams. How many weapons do you need to be successful? Like, bro, you guys expect every single player on this team to be 100% healthy every single game and have elite players at every single damn position. Y'all expect from left tackle to right tackle to be elite offensive linemen. Y'all expect it to be Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfro being elite Hunter Renfro that we've seen. Y'all expect Josh Jacobs to be elite Josh Jacobs and then have elite coaching and then elite top end Waller. How unrealistic do we have to be in order for us to be successful? If y'all want a new culture, if we want to start winning, we need to start it at one, bring in the right coach, and then have that coach bring in his quarterback. We're not going to start a new culture unless we get a new quarterback. You talk about the Broncos, they brought in an older quarterback, cashed him out, gave all this stuff away for what? And they lose. They're losing. They did all that and they're losing. You got to go get a young quarterback, man. I can't. It's over with. It's done. I'm done with this. This season's over. We're only going to screw ourselves out of draft position, out of draft picks, pretty much the rest of the season. To be honest, it's going to be a tough one. Everybody's talking about it's a 2-3 year process. I want to see if you're a person that believes it's a 2-3 year process. Go ahead and let me know down in the chat because someone needs to slap you upside the head because there's no way you go into this season and you're saying that shit. If you were to go into this season, this offseason, and say this is going to be a 2-3 year process, we're not going to win this year. Someone would knock you upside the head, especially the fact that we made the playoffs last year and then we're going into this year. You only add pieces to this team. You only added pieces to this team. That's it, to the offense, that is. And you scored 0 points the entire second half, 0 points. Shout out to TJC, man. He says Carr didn't just underthrow and overthrow passes. He threw 2 passes that should have been interceptions and one could have been INT for 6. We deserve better, and we do. You miss a pass to Abdullah in the back of the end zone. That's easily touchdown right there. You score that touchdown, we pretty much win the game. You talk about some passes to Devontae Adams that were just not on target. Those right there, it potentially helps you win the game because you move down the field. In the red zone, we only scored 2 touchdowns today, guys. We had 2 field goals and 2 touchdowns. 2 field goals, 2 touchdowns. How are you going to sit here and say our offense is elite scoring 2 touchdowns? That's a joke. SVT, my guy, he says, when the play isn't as scripted, DC looks lost. He is not a playmaker away from the game plan. He shows those flashes, but he's not consistent enough. And at this point, I think we've seen it because we were 9 years in, y'all. And I know a lot of people want to defend Carr. I know a lot of people are out that have been trying to get on me because they're like, oh, well, last year you liked DC. Last year it was this. Well, yes, because last year we were a shit show. Last year we literally had things screwing us over and they were legitimate excuses. This year, what's our excuse? Every excuse everybody uses this year pretty much just is, oh, it's bad coaching. Oh, it's the offensive line is bad. Oh, we know it's a 2-3 year process. What? Well, if y'all can't, make sure to hit them likes, man. Go make a play. He is not a playmaker, but I know everybody in this chat is a playmaker. So go make a play. Hit that like button. Hit the thumbs up. Let's see if we can get over 200 likes. Now, back to my guy with TJC was saying at the Super. He says that Carr could have thrown 2 interceptions, and he could have. Andre Cisco could have taken one to the house, easily taken one to the house. How would that have looked? I don't know. Then you turn around and you throw another ball that could have easily been picked that was just hit off one Jaguar's hands, jumped into another one's hands, and he drops it. And it was just looking bad at that point. We're not able to construct a drive to where if we need to score, we could do that. If we need to go pass the ball consistently down the field, we can do that. We're not able to do any of those kind of drives. The only drives that really consist of any type of consistency always starts with the run game. Always starts with the run game. Now you shut down the run, all of a sudden our offense is trash. And we've seen that adjustment. Because late Josh Jacobs was all of a sudden he was stumbling. He wasn't able to get back to the line of scrimmage. And, some of those offensive penalties were hurting us very badly. So, it sucks. Matt Collins get caught with a holding call. Brings us back after a nice run by Jacobs. The offense is just sabotaging this entire team. Urban says, I agree, Ray. These men need a motivator. McD is soft. McDaniels is not, it doesn't even look like a head coach. He just doesn't, man. Jose, what's good with you, brother? He says, Carr and McDaniels was arguing on the sideline. Then Carr said he has stuff to say, but we'll say it face-to-face behind closed doors. Something is up. Look, I'm glad Carr is stepping up. If let me be honest. Let me be honest right now, because I haven't watched the presser yet. And I did see them on the sidelines, and they were going back and forth. There was some dialogue I seen there. And I'd love to see that from Carr. Let me be honest. But the fact that Carr was missing throws, it kind of throws me off. That's what throws me off, because Carr was out there missing throws. Now, I don't know what's going on as far as the sidelines and what they're saying to each other, what the play called, this, down, the third. But when I see Carr miss a throw that's an open touchdown, I mean, Abdullah had maybe 2 yards on his defender, and you missed that throw. And as Carr, I'm thinking in my head, what can you really say? Because there's a lot of throws you should have taken back that you would want to take back in this game, to where it's kind of like, okay, I kind of understand the play calling isn't the best, but your throws weren't the best. You missed Adams on several attempts. There were several attempts that he missed Adams. And then he misses that Abdullah touchdown. And that's crucial, because those touchdown opportunities only come dime a dozen. Not dime a dozen. They only come so often. Rarely you get those open touchdown throws. And we was able to scheme it open. I mean, think about it in this game. How open was Adams on several pass attempts? I mean, a lot of the passes Carr threw to Adams, he was wide open. On the touchdown pass, he was open. There was no one around him. I could have caught that pass. There was no one around Adams, so he got schemed open on that. Adams was used. He got schemed open. He was wide open. Boom, on a drive, we use Abdullah on the next one. He's open. Carr misses a throw. So at what point do we sit back and we say, okay, this one's on this person, this one's on that person, and then Carr is frustrated? I would have liked to see Carr more frustrated at the beginning of the season. Not now, to where we've already seen enough football to say, Carr, you could have done better in many games. You could have done way better in this game against the Jags. You scored 0 freaking points coming out in the half. And then you talk about not being able to close games when the defense makes stops, and you have the ball last. You have the ball, and you go downfield, you score a touchdown, the game is over. We've done it five out of our 7 games, 5 out of our 8 games now. And we've yet to see the offense be able to do that. I was hoping, but they haven't. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Appreciate everybody pulling up. Richard Schneider, Raider mentality. Schneider says, right rate and the bounced. Hankins, add pieces, not bounce them. Yeah, I'm not sure what we're thinking. I guess we want a 7th round pick or whatever. What do we get? We got a 6th round pick for Hankins and a 7th round pick. I mean, I don't know. We're just making dumb moves like that. What was that move even about? I'm not sure. Carr contract was designed to give the front office an exit from him if they wanted to, and that's how it was. I mean, if they want to move on from him, they want to move on from him. And it's funny because we haven't really heard about. I need to watch this presser because you guys are really saying that it's something, but I'm going to watch it after this live. Carr hasn't really, I feel like, said anything, so I got to watch it first before I really comment on it. But if he did say, I'm going to speak on it behind closed doors, or, I got to do this, and it was weird and people were really saying that, We haven't really seen that kind of Carr, I feel like. And is he doing it now because the pressure is on him? The pressure is on Carr, in my opinion, at least, because I mean, you got weapons. Go win the damn game. Go score points. Always Big says our defense is ranked 32 out of 32, dead last. You want to be a Pop Warner team with that defense? Well, I'm not buying this 32 out of 32. Like, you guys will bring up a stat and act like you didn't just watch the fucking game. Like, pay the hell attention. Pay attention to the damn game. The offense scored 0 points the entire second half. The entire second half. What are you talking about? The offense that you guys said, okay, let me use some logic for you guys and why you need to watch the game, understand the play-by-play, understand situational football, because last week we played the Saints. They had the 31st defense in the league. They had 31 out of 32. Let's put it in your words. The Saints defense is ranked 31st out of 32 teams, second to dead last. Now, last week, our offense was ranked third. So we have the third-ranked offense in the Raiders going up against the 31st-ranked defense of the Saints. What is going to happen by using your logic? By using your logic, we should have gone out there and we should have scored like 40 points, correct? But that's not the case. That's not what happened. What happened was we scored 0 points like we did today in the second half. So tell me how saying that we have the 32nd defense makes any sense at all. Because ranking does not matter. The stats are skewed, obviously. So this is why you need to watch the game, understand the play-by-play. After the game, I encourage you to go to maybe ESPN.com, I don't know, CBS, to where they show play-by-plays, show the drives, and see how the game actually unfolded. Because, yes, we had a 17-point lead. The offense went 3 and out to start the game. I don't think you guys remember. Then the defense went out there, forced a fumble, got the ball back, and then the offense scored its touchdown, first touchdown of the game, correct? Then they scored a field goal. Then they scored another field goal, then they scored a touchdown. So we only get 2 touchdowns and we settle for 2 field goals. Okay, but we have a top 5 offense going up against the 31st defense in the Saints, and we had a top 3 offense. But today we scored so much against the 10th offense in the league. So that's why you can't just go based off of Googling. Let me go Google what the stats are. Oh, wow, they have the 32nd defense. Oh, wow, they have the top three offense. You can't do that. It makes no freaking sense. Like, use that ranking system last week. Use it last week. Watch the logic go right out the window. Shout out to Farrell pulling up on this, man. He says Josh McDaniels is soft and the team is a reflection of the coach. 100%. 100%. Been rocking with number 4 since day one, but he ain't one. Sorry, DC. Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, it is what it is, man. It's been 9 years. It's been 9 years. And it's funny because it's like people are, oh, well, Raid is switching up on DC. It's been 9 years, guys. At some point, you're going to be like, yeah, I'm done with this. I mean, sorry, if you're the type of person that likes to stay in some type of toxic relationship and has attachment issues, but I don't care. I don't have that. I'm not finna do that. Especially with somebody that I'm not being successful with. No, I'm not finna do that. So what I'm finna do, cut it off. Done. We're over with. I'd rather just do what I got to do. Move on without you. Pretty much what it is. Our guy Kevin Lurker in the building. He says Carr has no leg to stand on. Another inaccurate game. Exactly my point, Lurker. So how can he say anything to the coaches when the coaches is scheming up running backs wide open in the back of the end zone in Abdullah and you're missing a damn throw? Like, come on. East Oakland Legend says 2-1 and we throw 3 straight. Shake my head. Why not run Jacobs? What the F is wrong with this coach? Exactly. But not only that, why not Carr have the balls just to be like, I'm going to hand this shit off to Jacobs? You kidding me? Why not? Why can't Carr step up? Carr, you're getting paid the most out of anybody on this team. Carr gets paid the most out of anybody on this team. Josh McDaniels makes $6 to $8 million. Carr makes almost $30 million, okay? So if you're the guy that's been on this team for 9 years, you make the most money on this entire football team, you're the one taking the hike, you're the one calling the play in the huddle, you're the one that at the end of the day is going to ultimately make the decision. You need an audible. I don't give a shit what McDaniel says. Audible out of it and hand the ball off to Josh Jacobs. But no, he's not going to do that because he doesn't have the audacity. He doesn't have the backbone. He doesn't have the character. He doesn't have whatever you want to call it to where he needs to take it into his hands to be successful and win. No, he'd rather do exactly what McDaniel says, go out there and lose, and then sit there and try to not blame himself and say, I'm doing exactly what the coach wants me to do, and not say that's why we're losing, but pretty much say that's why we're losing. Did I miss anything? Did I miss anything? I'm not the only one that's heard Derek Carr say that. I'm doing it the exact way the coach wants me to do. I want to make sure I see what the coach sees. Is that not what Derek Carr always says? So when it's 2nd and 1 and I'm under center, I've been the quarterback for 9 years. 9 years. You bring in a new head coach that has never been successful in the NFL as a head coach. And I know I've been with Josh Jacobs. This dude came in as a rookie. I've been with Josh Jacobs longer than I've been with this coach. I know Devontae Adams. That's my folks. I played college with him. We all actually know each other personally outside of Josh McDaniels coming in for this first year. I'm going to have the balls to be like, I'm going to hand it off to my boy Josh Jacobs. Like, you're tripping, bro. I'm not passing this shit to doing none of that. I'm going to hand it off to him because I know a winning formula. If Carr knows, then he needs to go do that. Grab your nuts. Let your nuts hang, bro. You're a grown-ass man. At the end of the day, quit being a yes man and doing everything the coach wants you to do and win successful. Do what you need to do to be successful in winning football. He doesn't do that. He doesn't have the audacity. Shout out to my guy, How to Mock. He says Carr had plenty of time today. Plenty of time. I'm not trying to buy none of that. There was some place to where he really got punished, but at the end of the day, there was plenty of opportunities, plenty of drives. The defense made 2 stops at the end of the game after they got the lead. Not only did they make stops and cause a turnover in this game that the offense took advantage of, thankfully, but they made 2 stops after they got the lead. Yes, it was 24-20. Boom, we got the ball back. I put the tweet out there. I said, this is the same formula we've seen. I literally put the tweet out there before everything transpired. The moment they scored 24 points, I put the tweet out there. I said, this is the defense's breaking point. 23 to 24 points they've allowed in nearly every single game outside of the Chiefs game. Think about it. The Broncos scored 23. The Cardinals scored 23. They scored 29, but that's because the offense gave up a defensive touchdown. But the defense alone gave up 23 to the Broncos, 23 to the Cardinals, 24 to who did we play? To the Chargers, 24 to the other team we played, the Titans. It's literally the same formula. What happened in every single one of those games? The defense makes a stop at the end of the game, and every single one of those to get the offense the ball back. They don't score. What happens? The defense makes another stop for you to go down and score, and we win the game. They don't make the stop. It's the same thing. It's literally the same format, the same formula, guys. I can't make this up. I really can't make this up. I really can't, guys. Like, it's literally the same formula every single game. I want to bring this up so you guys can see, like, the visual of what I'm saying. Like, I'm not joking, guys. Like, this is the same formula every single game. And you'll see it here. I'm going to pull up the numbers. Look at this. And it's crazy because maybe some could say it's a coincidence, right? But at the end of the day, it's the same formula. Look at these numbers. You get 24 right here, 24 against the Chargers. They give up 24 against the Chargers. They give up 23 against the Cardinals. 23. Remember, they closed the game with a defensive touchdown because the offense fumbled when we needed a field goal in overtime to win. They failed that. We gave them the ball back against the Chargers to score and win the game. They failed to do that. The Titans, we gave them the football to score and win the game multiple times, and they failed to do that. 24 points, 24 points, 23 points. Again, 23 points. We won this game, though, right? We lose this game. This is the Chiefs game. This is the exception because it's the Chiefs. Of course, they might score 30. Of course, it's the freaking Chiefs. Again, here, we hold them to less than 23, 24, 20 points. 24 points. 24 points. 24 points. 24 points. So you can't make this up, guys. It's the breaking point of the defense. It's literally the same damn formula. And if you were to go in each of these games and look at the play-by-play, you would see literally the play-by-play right here. I'm going to show you guys how to do this. Look at the play-by-play. Go to the end of the game. Interception, touchdown, downs. So you're telling me the defense stops the Chargers. They force the Chargers to punt. The offense throws an interception. They force the Chargers to punt. They throw an interception. They miss a field goal. We finally scored. They punt the ball, and again, again. Oh, turnover on downs. Like, you can't make this shit up. It's the same formula. We did it again today. Nation. And this is why I'm so disappointed in this offense and cannot blame the defense. Shout out to Edgar Bonilla. I know I'm a little behind in the chat. It's getting warm in here, man. I'm getting hot in my office, man. I'm getting warmed up in here, man. Trading top 5 pick, future first and a third for Rodgers. Realistic? I'm not trading for Rodgers. Rodgers is going to be what? A $30 million cap hit. I'm not trading for Rodgers, bro. I'm starting with a new culture. I'm starting with something fresh. I'm not trading for Rodgers. I'm not sending no draft picks to invest in the offense anymore. I think we as Raider fans, we need to realize we need to invest in this defense and really build a good defense. How do we not realize that? Build a good defense. Build a good defense. Like, can we please? I'm begging the Raiders to build a damn defense for once. And we won't be in this position, I'm telling you guys. Let's go to the Cardinals game real quick, though. Let's look at the play-by-play of that. Very next game, guys. Very next game. What happens, right? What happens? The offense punts. Cardinals score a touchdown. They punt. Cardinals score a touchdown. We stopped the Cardinals so we could win the game. All we need is a field goal. They turn the ball over on downs as well, guys. What do? We fumble the football and they take it back for a touchdown. That's the offense's fault. Sorry, the offense's fault. Once again, that's 2 games in a row that the offense failed to close the game. The Titans game, we already know what happens in the Titans game. Obviously, they failed to score the 2-point conversion. They punt the ball. We stop the Tennessee. We throw an interception. We stop Tennessee. We kick a field goal. We stop Tennessee. We finally score a touchdown, but we don't score a 2-point conversion, so we're not able to tie. But this is another thing. We got an interception against Tennessee, only down 13-24. We got an interception in Tennessee's territory on their own 35. We punted the ball, guys. We punt the ball, even though we got the ball on Tennessee's 31-yard line. We punt the ball on that drive. How do you punt when you get a turnover in their own territory? We punt on the very next. We stopped them. We throw an interception. We stopped and kick a field. So you can't make this up. It's the same formula, guys. It's the same formula. So for everybody talking about, oh, well, the defense doesn't do this. Defense does. I'm not trying to hear that shit. I'm not really trying to hear that right now. DC has not been the same since the Colts injury. He really hasn't. I mean, the dude's just gotta, I don't know, at this point. It's been 9 years. Last year I defended him. This year I said, look, I can't defend him. I can't sit here and defend Carr anymore. The excuses are out the window. He's got an offensive coordinator and a head coach. He's got Devontae Adams. He has Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is having his best year since his rookie year. Could you guys agree with that? Would you guys agree that this is 30 points and we win? And remember this, we scored 30 points. The only time we scored 30 points is when the defense scored a defensive touchdown. So it's not as if, it's not as if the offense is scoring 30 points, like, oh, we have to score 30 points to win the game. Well, kind of, but we haven't scored 30 points because the defense gets a defensive touchdown when we get 30 points or more. So it's not like the offense is out there doing any of this. So it's not like it's a surprise that teams put up 30 points or more. Like, what do you think is going to happen when we get into the playoffs? Did we not just watch the Bills and the Chiefs last year unleash the offense and go freaking nuts? Like, what do you guys think? You're just not going to have to score more than 30 points? We haven't done it really this season. Maybe one time. Like, come on, man. I've been telling you about DC since last year, Ray. Yeah, we got into it, man. But the difference is there wasn't a fair evaluation of Derek Carr. Was there not? This is why I've been able to go from saying what last year was to this year, because last year we didn't have Devontae Adams. We didn't have Devontae Adams last year. Our offensive line wasn't as good as it is this year. Josh Jacobs is healthy. He came into this year healthy. This dude's putting up nearly 1,000 yards in half a season. His best season since his rookie year. Where's the excuse at? Where's the excuse at? Shout out to TJC. He says average and Mirig. Yeah, man. His name ain't even average or Avery. It's average. It's average at this point. Mirig. Yeah, Mirig has been off his pivot. He's more of a zone guy, obviously, but I don't know what's going on with Mirig. I don't know what's going on with Avery. Amik Robertson missing tackles in the backfield. Chandler Jones missing tackles in the backfield. Who else was that got blitzed and completely whiffed on the sack? And then Trevor Lawrence threw a dart or took off. So it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. Yes, sir, Callie. He says, Cash Lord, he says, I'm glad we're on the same page. Yeah. Maybe for different reasons, but we do have the same, might be on the same page. Ever since Hankins left and Hobbs was injured, our defense all right. Um, I don't know, man. BDQ says Carr has to go, but let's not fool ourselves. That McDummy is trash. Look at all the Pats assistants after leaving Foxborough. None of them have a winning record. Carnell, Wise, McDummy, Patricia, none. Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that. It was a stretch. It was a stretch, especially based off the track record. But at the same time, McDaniels was that one guy, was the one guy on the offensive side of the ball that's been with them for a long time. Jacobs playing for a contract. Damn. This is what's funny, right? Is because if we would have waited on the Waller, if we would have waited on that Waller contract and he would have been hurt like this, his value would have went down. So we could have picked him up. His value would have went down. So we could have he could have been injured, but his value would have went down because he's been injured all year like he was last year. Then we wouldn't have to sign him to as much because, dog, you haven't played in years. Like, I'm not going to cash you out. If not, then you're going to get traded. Will Anderson is an edge defender, right? Now, I wouldn't be mad at bringing in another edge defender because we've seen and we've witnessed that teams that like to stack defensive lines, I mean, their defense is always decent, right? So I wouldn't be mad if we picked up another edge defender or some type of just pass rusher in general. But I would love to bring in a pass rushing defensive tackle. I would love to do that. How the hell we can't score in the second half? Well, I was talking about that dialogue not too long ago. And it just seems to be this is what happens. The offense isn't able to continue to be consistent throughout an entire game. They don't close games. They can't win games for us. They're not clutch. They do terrible in the fourth quarter. I don't know what it is about them in the fourth quarter, but it's just it's terrible football. You talk about playing against nearly every team so far, and the defense continuously making stops for us to win the game, and they just don't go out there and make it happen. John Sweeney in the building says this might be my least favorite year as a Raiders fan, and that's saying a lot. Yeah, that's crazy, man, because we've had some very, very bad years. Now, this is probably my least favorite year based on the fact that I was really anticipating this offense to be really good. I really was. My other least favorite year is when we traded Mack and Cooper. That was another year I didn't really like. And then I would have to say it was 2002 when we lost in the Super Bowl to the Bucks, and it got we got cleaned up, man. We got wiped with the floor with the Bucks. So that was a tough one. 0 points again. 0 points again. And we're blaming the defense. You know what I mean? Booty juice it is, Stanford. You feel me? Booty juice it is, straight up. Tory for 30 says, Raid, we could have made everybody to prove it this year. Hunter, Carr, Waller, Jacobs, Bisaccia last year teams could have ran it back for one season based on the contracts. Exactly, Tory. Now, with Bisaccia, I wasn't a big fan of him coming back as head coach. But as far as the contracts, I would have loved for the coach and the GM, whoever they are, to come in and say, you guys go out there and play. We're going to see what you have, and this is our chance to evaluate you. Because what did the coaches actually evaluate? Because think about it like this, right? These guys came in, and when they got hired, they said, we haven't really got a chance to take a look at the team. We don't really know what we have because we just kind of got here. We have to do this, that, and the third. And you think that they didn't take their time to watch the film on these dudes before, whether it was the film, whether it was they was watching from afar, and they were able to then evaluate them within that time space to say, okay, we're going to, sign into a new contract. Seems like a bunch of BS to me when it comes to this regime, and that's why I don't really listen to anything they say. Ziegler, I was kind of feeling Ziegler at first. Honestly, I wanted to give him a chance. McDaniels, I didn't really like him from the jump, but Ziegler, I kind of want to give him a chance because I like the fact that when he was at his press conference and they asked him, will you be the GM? And he said, yes, I'm the GM. At the end of the day, I will be making the decisions. And I liked him because of that and some of the moves he made. But as far as the initial moves he made, I didn't like anything afterwards, like signing Waller so soon when he had 2 years left. The Hunter Renfrow, I wasn't too mad at. You knew we were going to keep Hunter Renfrow, and they were on their last year. Besides Waller, he had 2 years left, right? So, oh man, it's going to be tough. I'm gonna roll up a 3-5 of Carr and this Wood. Yeah, you're gonna definitely. That's gonna be some terror. That's a terrible pack. You don't want to smoke that. You're gonna want to smoke that. It's going. It's going. I don't know. You might miss the pass. You might when you pass that blunt, you might miss. I'm just messing around, bro. Hey, I'm just messing around. JK says, "Hey, I'm done with McDaniels, Graham, and this team." You know, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. I would love, not love, but I would say I would want to keep Graham around. I would want to keep Graham around to see what more he could do. But I hate the fact that he be having Crosby drop back. I'm like, bro, you on crack. You really on crack for that. So I wouldn't be mad if we let him go either. Idiots think you could sprint the first 2 laps, then walk the last 2 laps, and you think you'll win. That's the offense did. The offense was the hair, fell asleep, and lost the lead, basically, bro. Basically, that's what it is. You feel me? Like these leads, like people bring up these leads, like, oh, it's a 17-point lead. It's the start of the game. It's the start of the freaking game. Like, think about this. It's the game just started, guys. It's not like it's the third quarter, the middle of the third quarter, and the offense has 34 points and then they have 17. No, it's the start of the game. Like, what are we talking about? The offense already went 3 and out. Then the Jags go 3 and out. The offense goes 3 and out. Then the defense gets a turnover to get the ball back to the Raiders. So then what happens? The offense finally freaking scores. Because the defense got a turnover. So then that's our first touchdown. The defense makes another stop. So the defense at this point is holding them to 0 points. Holding them to 0 points at this point. Giving the offense an extra possession. What does the offense do without that extra possession? They score 1 touchdown and 2 field goals, guys. Without the extra possession from that offensive recovery, you guys got to think. We put up 2 field goals and 1 touchdown outside of that extra possession. 2 field goals and 1 touchdown. 1 touchdown in the entire game. The offense on its own put up 1 touchdown. That's garbage. That's garbage, yo. But if y'all can, make sure to hit that like button, man. Let's see if we can get over 300 likes on this because apparently it looked like we only got like 2 likes on this video, man. Go make a play if you guys can and hit that like button. Much obliged. Much appreciated. Damn, we got 109 likes. We got like 3 times the people up in this thing, man. Y'all got to hit that like button, man. And we got to make that happen. We definitely got to make that happen. That's crazy. That's crazy. The blasphemy and the disrespect. Marvin Lewis in the building, my guy. He says, at this point, I call for a boycott on attending the games with those high prices for this garbage that they are putting on the field until they put a proven winning team on the field. I heard this earlier, and someone was saying, you know, the boycott, if you're a Raiders fan and you think to boycott the team, then you're not a real fan. You know, I don't really think that. If you want to boycott the team, I definitely agree because we suck. I mean, why would you want to go pay for high-priced tickets, high-priced beers, and glizzies and sit back and have to pay for that and watch your team get their ass whooped? Score 0 points in the second half. I couldn't imagine paying for the tickets, sitting back, and then not scoring for an entire half. You watched half of the game to where you guys never scored once. Like, that's got to be disheartening as a fan to go pay for that, especially the people that paid to go watch against the Saints. I would love to get a refund. I would have loved for Mark Davis to come out and say, you know, the Raider fans deserve a refund after that Saints game. You feel me? Appreciate you, Marvin Lewis, dog. Byron in the building. He says lost for words with this team this year. Byron, man, I got to ask you, Byron, because I watched your videos and I watched you talk about Derek Carr. I did. And you're very transparent and try to be non-biased. But I gotta ask you, how do you feel about Derek Carr this year? The fact that he got Devontae Adams on his team. I mean, Devontae Adams been there this whole damn season. Josh Jacobs is running him out of his mind. He's been running his best football since his rookie year. Byron, what do you think, man? G War in the building. He says, Herman Schmid, don't believe anything they say. They're only buying more time to tell you 3 years from now the same thing they're saying. Exactly, G War. Exactly. They're saying 2 to 3 years. Where was this talk at the beginning of the season? If this was a 2 to 3 year process, why would you go out? Why would you go all in this offseason if it's a 2 to 3 year process? Wouldn't you have just kept what you had instead of paying Chandler Jones, paying all these guys, go out there, Have them learn the system. Who knows it? Who doesn't know it? Who's able to grasp it? And then the moment you figure that out, then you sign the guys. Because we could have waited to sign these guys to extensions to week 4, to week 5. We didn't have to sign them all in the offseason. We didn't have to do that. But they were in such a rush to stack this team with so much talent, but it's a 2-3 year process. In 2-3 years, these guys are going to be gone. Our window is from now to 3 years. It's not in 3 years. That's when our window starts. Like, what the hell are we talking about? That's not when it starts. That's when we start paying hella people. That's when Carr's getting $40 million. Devontae is getting $30 million. Freaking Chandler Jones is getting 20. Crosby's getting 20. Like, our run is now, next year, and the year after. It's not in 3 years we're going to start the run. Hell no. What the hell? Tripping. How are you going to keep Graham? He's the biggest problem of this team. When I was talking about that, I don't know. I think I was just talking a little too much. Graham, I don't know about Graham, man. He got Crosby dropping back in the coverage. It's just this whole team is just hot garbage. I just expect more from the I'm just expecting more from the offense, to be honest, man. That's pretty much what it is. That's my whole take. Shout out to Cash He says, I'm not paying for Wolf tickets. Pretty much what it is. That's what we're doing here. We're paying for Wolf tickets. We're paying for people to lie to us. We go up here to these pressers to watch them lie to us. The most important thing I want to see here is to really see Derek Carr step up, because if he's going to be the quarterback of the future, or whoever it is, maybe Josh McDaniels is going to be the coach, there's going to be something here. It's going to be either Carr or McDaniels if there's really that much talk. Because Carr is going to have to really let his nuts hang, man. He's going to have to go out there and, step up, bulk up and say, what are we doing? We're going to do this. You're going to do that. Man, come on. He said, we don't speak about the Saints game. I feel you on that, bro. G Rich in the building with the super. Appreciate you, dog. He says, can we call it? Do you stick with Carr or start Stidham? Don't know Stidham contract. Could we trade bait for end of the year for more picks? No, I don't think Stidham would be a guy that you could really use for trade bait like that, to be honest. Maybe like a later round pick, 4th, 5th, but nothing crazy, man. I wouldn't even bench Carr either. I wouldn't play Carr the entire season. The only thing I don't like about that is the fact that, like I said, been saying for the last couple of weeks, is that what's going to happen is we're going to be 3-12, or we're going to be 3-10, and then the next thing you know, we win a game, and then we win another game in week 14, then we win the last game of the year, and what it does is going to put us from having a number 6 pick, number 8 pick, and then all of a sudden we drop back all the way to pick 14 or 13, and it's just like, bro, why? Like, why win those games when we know we missed the playoffs? We missed the playoffs. Why win those games? It's because people don't want to tank, and I'm not one for tanking at all. But that's what's going to happen. It happens every single year. It's sickening. It's sickening. Watch our draft position fall because we'll win games late in the season that literally mean nothing. Keep it 100 says, bro, Raider Nation giving up all their pinche EBT to only have 2 pinche wins. I don't know, man. If anybody got EBT for sale, I got you. If you got them 50% off, man, what it do? Shout out to Chili, man. He says, Ray, would you cut Carr, save $100 million from Carr, and invest it heavily into the defense? Man, cut Carr. I'm not cutting Carr. I don't know about cutting him. You talking about at the end of the season, I would try to trade him to somewhere that he would be willing to go, like the Texans. I don't know if he'd really want to go there. He says he wants to be a Raider for his entire career, but I would also test the waters and see if we could trade him. If not, we can't trade him. Then I let him go. I'll cut him. He can go to free agent market, and he could do what he wants to do, because I'm going to draft another quarterback. Now, what you could do is, what some people may want, is continue to keep Carr, pay him, use your first-round pick to pick up some defensive help, use your second-round pick to potentially pick up a quarterback, and then draft defense the rest of the way. And that quarterback is sit behind Carr if Carr's just not the answer. Because I think we feel as if Carr deserves some type of, like, think about it. Alex Smith on the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes sat behind him. They drafted Patrick Mahomes, right? If Alex Smith was consistently getting the Chiefs to the playoffs, and they're willing to draft the quarterbacks to sit behind Alex Smith, why can't we with Derek Carr? If you think about this, The damn Packers literally drafted a quarterback in the first round to put behind Aaron Rodgers. Why can't we have a guy sit behind Derek Carr? It happens all the time. So I don't know. I don't know what it is, but we're going to have to definitely make some changes at the quarterback spot here eventually, man. Because we can't afford to pay a premium for Carr if he's not going to be able to put that premium on the field. Their contracts aren't sustainable for 2 to 3. That's what I'm saying, SVT. That's literally what I'm saying. Like, our window is now to 3 years. It's not our window will start in 2 to 3 years. No, hell no. What the hell? Nobody went into this season saying that, oh, yeah, this isn't going to be a good year. We're going to have to wait 2 to 3 years. Hell no. Raider fans would be upset. Chandler Jones, shake my head. Exactly. Ray Love is going to be longer than that if we don't hit on the draft at quarterback. I don't think it's about hitting on the draft at quarterback. I think it's about hitting on your picks. Like, think about this. We need to hit on the picks that we make. It doesn't matter what position we draft. If we need a D tackle, we need to hit on that D tackle. If we draft a middle linebacker, we need to hit on that middle linebacker. The Chiefs took Curtis Bolton in the third round, I think, or the second round? I think it was more of the third round, though. He's a good linebacker. He's been solid. He's not out every other game like Diablo. So it's like they didn't draft the safety, move him to freaking linebacker. Like, just draft a fast linebacker. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just frustrating, to say the least. It's frustrating, to say the least. JK in the building. He says, why is the players in Devontae and Waller running for all saying the offense is difficult to learn? Because it's probably too difficult. From what I heard is that you not only have to learn the plays, but you have to also learn to adjust based on the play called. Based on the play call, you have to learn to adjust based on the defense that's out there on the field. So if they go out there and they call a certain play and Carr doesn't check out of it, and you're running a post route, I'm just giving an example, and you're the receiver running a post route, now, all of a sudden, if the defense is running a cover 3, you have to run this. Or if it's running a cover 2 with the hard cover with hard flats, then you have to run this. But if it's not a hard flats, then you have to run this. But if it's not if it's an inverted cover 2, then you have to run this. It's just way too many details, and it's not like the player can just go out there, line up, know what the play is, and run his route. No, you have to change based on the defense after you hear what the play call is what I'm hearing. And those little details or minuscule little details are just too much. It just seems like it's too much. This is why we don't have the deep threat in Tyron Johnson. We had Tyron Johnson make the 53-man roster just to cut him. Why? Because he couldn't what the hell kind of comment is that about Chandler Jones? That man crazy. My 2 cents, bro, you crazy for that comment. I ain't even want to click on that. But think about that. Tyron Johnson couldn't even stay on the team after we keep him on the 53-man roster. He don't even end up playing because he can't pick up the playbook. It's ridiculous. Ray Love, we don't need trade value. He said if we aren't happy with his play, he's gone, no contract. Gabe, I've seen this several times. Do you remember when he yelled that he had to yell at Foster Moreau? He said, Moreau, get on the line. Or no, he said, Foster, line on the line or something like that. He's telling him. He's done the same thing with Devontae Adams to where he had to tell Adams to come in and line up right there inside. He's done this to multiple people. Edgar says we're currently at number 3 pick. Well, what's going to end up happening? We'll probably win a couple of games late in the season, and we'll drop from number 3 to something crazy. And watch us draft the offensive tackle. I'll be sick to my stomach. Raid, I agree. Carr will start balling just in time to ruin our draft status. Hey, that's another way to put it, Mello. That is another way to put it, man. Yes, he has a no-trade clause, but you can trade the player if he agrees upon where the destination is. That's the point of a no-trade clause. So there is a no-trade clause, but you can trade him. So that's not true. You can't trade him no-trade clause. That's not what it means. No-trade clause means you can't trade him unless he accepts it. So, yes, technically there's no trading him, but if you found a trade partner and you were to say, do you want to go here? And he says, yes, I will play there. He can lift the trade clause and you can go there. It happens before. It's happened multiple times in the NFL. Don't think because it says no trade clause that he cannot be traded whatsoever. 100% can't happen. No, it's not true. It's happened multiple times. Zero O line is Christopher Jones. Zero offensive line is not true. That is not true. The offensive line is decent. The offensive line is at worst average. If you're telling me this offensive line is worse than average, you're not watching the film. You're not watching the game. You can literally go look at the statistics. You can look at any of the offensive line statistics. You can go watch the film. Bro, last game against the Saints, they were giving Carr hella time. Everybody knows it. He had like 4 seconds on every damn snap to throw the ball. That's crazy. Ray Love says 0. Oh, let me catch up to the chat. I am a little bit behind. Shout out to OC the God. He says, Ray, why do Carr lovers love him so much? I don't think it's, I don't know, man, because people did, I wouldn't say that because people last year used to call me Carr lover, Carr stands, Kardashian, all that stuff. But, you know, then I would turn around and I call them people Carr-motional because all they would do is be emotional about every single thing that you would bring up and whenever you bring up Carr. But the thing is that people get attached to players and the idea of, oh, well, you know, it's going to be hard to find another quarterback. Well, we're not winning. We're not winning. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. Like, at what point are you going to just say, okay, let's try something new? Like if you're racing in a car, right? You're racing in the car, you just did an LS1 swap, and your LS1 always loses, always losing, always losing. What would it hurt to go put a little 2JZ in there? What would it hurt to go put, I don't know, you guys probably don't know cars, but what would it hurt to try something new? Something new, something fresh. What would it hurt? It wouldn't hurt. We're not winning. It's been 9 years. I defended him all last year. So I don't know why people love him so much because people would say this to me like, oh, why you love him so much? It wasn't even about loving him so much. It was about the fact that there wasn't a fair evaluation. You couldn't evaluate Derek Carr in a lot of those seasons. And a lot of the seasons you could evaluate him, we did good. 2016 was a pretty decent year to evaluate them. Our defense was decent. We created a lot of turnovers with that 2016 defense. We had good receivers in Crabtree and Cooper. Our O-line was solid with a good running back rotation. So that was a fair chance to evaluate Carr. He looked good. Another chance to evaluate Carr was later in Gruden's. It was in Gruden's third year and the fourth when in his third year. That was a decent year, but Gruden always had too many moving pieces. But his offense was always pretty solid. Last year was not a chance to evaluate him. A lot of tragedy, a lot of bad things happened. You go into this year, this is the year, and there's no excuse. Like the offense, there's no excuse, to be honest. There's no excuse. Hit on our first pick quarterback, then build around him. I don't want to do that. I'm not a fan of that. What I'm a fan of is building the team before the offense. Before the offense. Building the team before the quarterback. So this is, or you get a quarterback later, like the Eagles. The Eagles got Jalen Hurts in like the second round, guys. Why couldn't we get a guy like a Jalen Hurts in the second round, but continue to invest and pour money and pour everything into our defense? That's what I would want to do. That's what I would want to do. I would want to have a stacked built defense like a lot of teams do, and a lot of teams that are good and consistently win. That's what they do. That's what they do. They stack on their defense. They continue to stack the chips on the defensive side of the ball. You bring in a young quarterback that now has a good run game and now has a good defense with solid weapons around him. He's a young quarterback coming into a good situation. Why not do it that way? Let's not wait. Let's not get the quarterback while we're shit and then try to build around him while we're shit. No, make everything around him good and then bring him into it. I wouldn't want to come into a shitty situation. Like the Jags, in my opinion, they should have built around Trevor Lawrence before starting him. So they should have had a guy sit in for a year, maybe two, and built that team. Make sure that defense was stacked and then make sure he had the weapons he needed and then bring him in after a year. There it goes. You're off to the race. That's what the Chiefs did. That's what the Chiefs did. That's what a lot of teams did. The Bengals didn't do that, but the Bengals obviously Burrow got hurt. He came in the next year. That defense was stacked. He had Jamar Chase, Higgins, Boyd, Mixon. The only thing they needed is that offensive line. And then what they do this offseason, they went and want to ramp it up. So I would rather build the team and then get the quarterback. But right now, we have a quarterback that's super expensive once his cap hit comes into play, and it's going to be difficult to really build like that. And I feel like it put a fire under his ass. You have a young quarterback right behind you, which Carr's never had a young quarterback behind him really like lighting a fire under his ass. So it's just the Lombardi got to go. Lombardi got to go. Oh, okay. You talking about SVT says McDaniels tries to get cute, but he needs to make our players make plays. Forget all that extra. Exactly. You got all these weapons. Just have them go out there and do what it do. Let me catch up to the chat. I'm a little behind. Bentley the Gent says, go for your guys in the draft you need. We never draft down. Of course, for this work, we need to be low in the draft. Yeah, and if we wanted to keep Carr this next year, I wouldn't be too mad at that. I wouldn't be too mad at that, okay? As long as we went all in on the defense, as long as we went all in on the defense, and then we continue to build around the quarterback position, not around Carr, but build around the quarterback position. And then if you want to move on from Carr, you go ahead and you move on from Carr, you bring in your quarterback. Or you do it this offseason. You move on from Carr, you bring in your quarterback. That's how I see it. Carr's 9 years in. You're not going to start a new culture. You're not going to start a new culture. You're not going to start anything new when basically you have a quarterback that's been here 9 years. It's like trying to teach an old dog new tricks. Like it's just too much. Yo, D Raider, you crazy. He said to the 2016 tapes. That's wild. Not saying I'm a Carr lover, but I will say Carr has played better with better coaching. I still said this coach sucks. Carr may not be it, but this coach ain't it either. I agree with that. I just don't think Carr is it. It's over at this point. Why continue to hold on to this veteran quarterback if every time we bring in a coach, we're not good? I'd rather bring in a coach, him choose his quarterback. Let's go through those 2 to 3 to 4 years with this new coach and this new quarterback. So we're not paying a premium for this quarterback. And then if that doesn't work, we go ahead and reset. That way we have a new coach, a new quarterback, just like kind of the Bills did. And we could move on from like that, kind of like the Eagles did, kind of like the Bills did. The Giants, they got Daniel Jones, but I'm not too big of a fan of Daniel Jones, honestly. I defended him all last year. So did I, man. So did I. McShit in the building. Yeah. Z3, what's good with you? Jacobs had holes to run through all game. O-line is great. Yeah, he had some good runs, but the one that got called back was very tough. Very tough. Norma was good with it. Thrash, he says they like him because we drafted him. He has every Raider quarterback stat, and he has stuck with us through all the coaches and seasons. It's called loyalty. Yeah, I definitely understand that. But it's past that now. It really is past that. PF3 says, what's good, Ray? Start the tank, my man. I feel you, man. But I'm not one to tank. But at the same time, once we're out of playoff hopes, I do not want to start winning games and start slipping down in the draft spot. That would be terrible. But if we can, y'all, can we get over 200 likes on this video? Can we get over 200 likes on this video? Let's see if we can. I know we right there. We got 176. Let's see if we can get over 200 likes on this video. Would love to do it. Go make a play. Hit that like button. Hit the thumbs up. Let's get it, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat still. We just hit that 1 hour mark. Shout out to our guy, Star. He says, I bet we have Brady next year. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, man. Do we think Brady would want to come to Las Vegas? Not only that, would we want Hold up. Let me take a second. To digest this, Star. Everything going on in Tampa Bay. Everything going on in Brady's life. We hear the news about whatever that stuff was coming out about. Brady said that mother effer was Dana White came out saying that mother effer was Brady coming to Las Vegas. And we keep Carr, the way they did this deal with Derek Carr, the way they did this deal with Derek Carr to where they can get him off in this 1 year. I don't know. Maybe that could be potentially a thing because Brady probably wouldn't come in here wanting a lot of money. If anything, he'd probably come in here. You'd have Devontae Adams already. He'd have a running back in Josh Jacobs already. He'd have a decent offensive line. He'd have a slot receiver in Hunter Renfrow, which he really likes. Oh man, that would be very interesting. That would be a freaking mind-blowing decision. And then you could draft maybe a quarterback behind Brady. I don't know. Rick Glenn says, would Carr rolling out be a good idea? He just stands there, gets sacked or rushed. Not a huge Carr fan, but something's got to change. Thoughts? Rolling out, I would love any quarterback it is really outside of like you're really slow. Most of these quarterbacks now are somewhat mobile. So I just always feel like you always want to roll the pocket so that you can at least get some type of edge and get those receivers to run open, you know. But with Carr, it's kind of difficult, I guess. I don't really know, man. Honestly, at this point, I don't know, brother. Carr's just got to figure it out. I don't care what it is. Carr got to figure it out. He's got to step up. So I want to watch the presser. I definitely want to watch the presser to see what it is. Carr fumbles a lot as well. So do we want him rolling out just in case like someone sneaks him? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want Carr doing anything. Like you said, you're not a huge fan of Carr. And it's like when we start asking questions like this, we're trying to salvage. We're salvaging at this point, right? We're not supposed to be salvaging. We're supposed to be pillaging through other teams. We're not supposed to be salvaging. And I feel like that's what we're doing. Shout out to Bruce Davis, man. He says, Ray, you're a good dude, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the comment, man. Jalen Hurts would have been perfect for a failing Carr. Jalen got better from being a quarterback that can't throw to an MVP candidate. Carr has no substantial improvements. He plays the same erratic play. I would just say about the Eagles is that they were willing to go out there and build around that quarterback. They built the defense. Think about it. They spent a first rounder, they spent a first rounder on the D tackle when they already have Fletcher Cox. What do? They go get another D tackle in Jordan Davis. They also added Nakobe Dean, the linebacker. They also went and got James Bradbury to go with freaking Darius Slay. Like, that's how you start to build a defense. That should get you excited, right? You talk about on the offensive side of the ball, they drafted Devontae Smith and didn't get A.J. Brown. They got Miles Sanders, the same draft that we got Josh Jacobs. They got Miles Sanders in the second round. So it's not like it's a huge surprise. Masario says Bruce Irvin and Khalil Mack were the only reason the defense looked decent or good in 26. Yeah, it was really Mack because he was closing games for us, man. We wouldn't need Max Crosby to close games for us, but he really doesn't. 90%. No, defense isn't 90% of the problem. I would say the defense is probably like 25%. Carr is 25%. Coaching is 50%. That's what I would say. I would say the defense is only like 25%. And I've already gone over why. Earlier in the show. I showed it on play-by-play. I showed it on drive-by-drive. If you look at every single game we've played, the offense literally stalls out after the damn defense bails them out. Not really bail them out, but stops the offense many times. King 85, shout out to you, man. He says, Ray, did you watch the video of Kurt Warner breaking down all the 22 of the Saints game? Yes. He was talking a lot about the offensive scheme. Check it out. Yes, I did check it out, man. Kurt Warner did give some good insight. And, having Devontae Adams not running some more creative routes or just more of a route tree was, I feel like, something that he hounded on. Running those flag routes all the time or those deep out routes and nothing any more creative. I'm telling you, bro. And he got his OC. Yeah, he do. Brady signed a commentator contract. Yes. Did he? I'm not 100% sure. No, old man Brady. Yeah, I'm cool off of Brady. I ain't going to lie. I'm not going to lie. Would you tank, Ray? No, I wouldn't tank. I'm not about tanking, but, I'm not about tanking, but I don't want to start winning games and mess up our draft spot. At this point, I would not. Brady won championship his first time with Tampa right away. Yeah, he did. Would you? They're tanking? I don't know. Good point. I don't know about the Brady thing. I don't know if I really want to bring him in, but the fact that he talked about it and it all kind of made sense. Brady will be a FA, sign him and trade Waller, bring Gronk out of retirement. No, hell no. I'm not bringing Gronk out of nothing. I would probably add Gronk alongside Waller. That would be insane. Run 2 tight end sets with them. How the F you all going to come up in here and burn up Ray's energy and not like this page? Support your squad. Yo, shout out to you, Rich Snyder. Appreciate you, dog. Always supporting, man. Always supporting, dog. You know what I mean? Shout out to you on Twitter too, pulling up. You know what I mean? If y'all don't follow me on Twitter, I rate the tape or Instagram. Make sure y'all do, man. I always pull up and talk and debate with you guys. Whether you want to DM me on IG, talk trash on Twitter, we can get it in, man. New Raiders unique quarterback is needed badly. Yeah, we do. We just do, man. You know, it's a stepping stone. Carr was a stepping stone to Carr's really a stepping stone to better, bigger and better things. You know, the Chiefs had a stepping stone in Alex Smith, move on to better, bigger and better things. Plenty of teams have stepping stones to move on from better and bigger things. You know, this isn't like people act like we're in an Andrew Luck situation. I don't feel like this is an Andrew Luck situation. This isn't like Carr, we're losing Andrew Luck like the Colts lost Andrew Luck, us getting rid of Carr. It's not the same, in my opinion. Andrew Luck was a good dude, like a good quarterback. Like we all knew it. The Colts just didn't do shit. I don't feel like this is the same. Sam Tonka says, I'm just saying every time this team gets a lead, the play calling gets stupid as F, leading to 3 and outs, giving the other team more chances to come back. Yeah, I agree. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's those whack adjustments. It's really coaching. Those are adjustments for sure. We keep playing like this, it's like tanking. Yeah, pretty much. But I don't know if we're tanking. That'd be interesting. And I don't know if Josh McDaniels is sabotaging Derek Carr, so Derek Carr is going to finally speak out. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not going to start no crazy stuff, man, but yo, we've been up here for an hour, a little over an hour, guys. Appreciate y'all pulling up, man. There was over 300 people deep. Appreciate everybody that did pull up. Don't forget, tomorrow is Monday, y'all. Tomorrow is Monday. So don't forget, we're pulling up every single Monday morning for Good Morning Nation. For Good Morning Nation. And we will be talking about it this week. We're going to start off our week with a Good Morning Nation and try to figure out something we could, I don't know, man. I'm going to dig into it. I'm going to watch the film. I'm going to dig into it. I'm going to start looking at the draft as well. I want to start looking at the draft this year because last year I wasn't on it. But Mello says CJ Stroud, all OSU quarterbacks suck in the NFL. There are just athletes that play the quarterback position. Yeah, I don't know about CJ Stroud. I got to look at my quarterbacks and see who is really a dog and who is out there really leading with their throws. But, hey, man, appreciate you guys pulling up, man. If you can, hit that like button on the way out. Please hit that like button on the way out. Everybody that pulled up, appreciate you all. Don't forget to check out Redemption Brand if y'all want to check out any of these caps. I do have the white and black. I do have the white and gray as well. Appreciate y'all, man. I don't know about Carr. I don't know about Josh McDaniels or this offense, man. But I appreciate everybody in the nation. Appreciate everybody in the nation, man. Until next time, rate the tape.